Welcome to the coaching chat. My name is Elaine Mason. I'm excited to wrap up our four-part series on prospecting. And today the topic is going to be on nurturing. But we're going to do a little bit of a review before we get started on today's topic. And hopefully this has been a series that you can kind of go back to, pull from, and just continue to digest. I feel like 20 years in this business, I've loved going through this process because I think it's kind of stamped in my own mind that whether it is a prospect, a customer, a partner, a qualifier, or a leader, getting someone to that point takes time. It's an investment on our time. We aren't out there just running around trying to make a sale. What we're trying to do is move the dial on people's health in America today, and that takes time. Any kind of relationship is going to take time. So at that first week, we started out with attracting. And, you know, each one of these words are verbs. So it's action on our part to make it happen. So we talked about what the definition of attract was, and it kind of all came down to one thing, and that's an invitation to somebody that we're inviting them into our lives. We're inviting them to a call, to watch something. So it's an invitation to attract. And so what I want you to think about, kind of going back and thinking about that first part of attracting, is how do you show up to other people? Are you attracting people or are you repelling people? So you know that statement, do as I say, not as I do? I'm going to share a story of myself that I think really kind of falls in line with this. I was irritated. I think if anything ever irritates me the most is when my internet doesn't work and I become ugly. That is just downright ugly. Well, my computer or my internet wasn't working. I'd had it with Comcast. I've been on the phone on hold for over an hour. Finally, the girl comes on and I am short, sassy, and just so unattractive. You would not have wanted to have been in the room. So I'm being short, sassy, irritated, and I'm talking to her. I'm mad as a hornet, and we're having to wait on somebody else to come help because she couldn't help me. Well, in the middle of all this, she said, "So, Miss Mason, what do you do?" Oh my gosh. I just wanted to say, I don't want to tell you the company I work for because my behavior has been shameful. And I don't want to associate my company with me and the way I've been behaving. And finally, I just thought, I got to be honest with her. And I said, honestly, I can't remember what her name was. I said, I'm embarrassed to tell you because I love my company and I know better than the way I've been behaving. And I'm sorry. And I said, I'm just frustrated. And I know it's not your fault. So I apologize. Then I tell her about Juice Plus. Well, she becomes so excited about Juice Plus. And I'm still in conversations with her actually about becoming a partner and joining us. But, you know, that to me, when I was thinking again today about this word attract, how are we showing up? Are we showing up like we don't care about people? Are we showing up excited? We can't wait to tell them about our company. So think about how are you showing up and are you attracting people to you or are you repelling them based on what your personality's like? You know, are we grumpy? Are we short? Do we go out of our way to be kind? You know what? I think I saw Erin Lemmy. Erin Lemmy is one of the sweetest people in the world. And when I look at how many customers and partners she's brought into this company, it makes so much sense to me. So, you know, that saying, you attract more people with honey than vinegar. How are you showing up? And are you attractive? That next week, then it gets into engaging. You know, when I think about all the verbs that represent engage, the thing it boils down to is, are you getting to know them? Do you really care about them? Are you asking those questions that make them open up? Anytime you ask people questions, man, about themselves, they're gonna puff up like a toad, boy. There, you talk about you want someone to be engaged with you, you start asking questions about them, even better about their kids. You will have one engaged person. So when you start to make these connections, before you make that call, before you send that email, before you send that text, before you go have coffee, before you invite them somewhere, attraction is that inviting them in. But you make sure you have some great things you can connect with them on and really get into an engaging conversation specific to them. Last week we talked about, so we've attracted them, now we've engaged them. How do we make that conversion? How do we move them from just attracting them and engaging it with them? How do we move them to where we want them to go? And I always think about, back to questions again. My husband always says, he who asks the questions guides the conversation. So if we're wanting to guide them into converting them to be a customer, or from a customer to a partner, or from a partner to a qualifier, or a qualifier to a leader, that's going to take a period of time. A lot of times people get discouraged in this business because their perception of how long it takes to get to where they want to go nowhere near equates to the actual time frame. Some people, what my longest running prospect to customer go was my customer, Bobby Shoemaker. It took me 7 years to get him on board as a customer. And I remember the day he finally, and we had conversation after conversation. I said, Bobby, you ready to sign up? Well, not yet. 7 years this went on. And finally one day he called me and said, okay, I'm ready to put my whole family of 7 on Juice Plus. And I said, my gosh, you win the award of taking the longest time to decide you want Juice Plus. But you know what? I never gave up on Bobby. Never let one prospect name ever get lost. Hang on to them. You just don't know when the timing is right. So when it comes to converting, some people convert like that. They're ready. Maybe they've had several connections with Juice Plus, and you just happen to hit them at the right time. Some people, it may take a long period of time, but that is okay. We're looking for customers for life, not just turnkey customers that we sell them one thing. We're not selling one big ticket item and we're done. This is a relationship that we're building, and it takes time. And now today, we're going to talk about nurture. So this is kind of the final step in this process. And so again, nurture is a verb. So here's, when I go to the thesaurus, I love the dictionary and the thesaurus because it really kind of helps you dig in. And I'm looking at Jane's smiling face and Brenda also, two of my heroes when it comes to writing and mastering the language. This gets me excited thinking about this action word, nurture. That's just a cool word that gives you some warm fuzzies. Am I right? Okay, encourage, educate, support, train, develop. What does that tell you? Somebody's investing in me. Does that, I literally just gave myself goosebumps. Think of somebody who's invested in you. It's going to bring tears to your eyes. I can think of people, gosh, I'm getting emotional, who truly have encouraged me. Brenda Proctor is one of the most encouraging people I know. there'd be times I'd do a call like this and I'd get a text, wow, that was awesome. And in my heart, I was like, that stunk. I did horrible. And yet that word of encouraging, educating, who are the people who've invested and educated? I bet everyone could name a teacher that invested in them. Who are people who supported you, who showed up when you were sick and showed up with some soup? Who are the people who've trained you? I think of my husband has invested. Nobody sees him or he doesn't get any credit in the Juice Plus world, but he has trained me more than anybody else and developed me. Who's developed you? You guys, when it comes to nurturing, whether it be nurturing those customers and educating them, I've got one of my customers coming over today and she was like, okay, I need your help. I need you to help me to get on track. Who are you investing in? What customers? What prospects? What if someone doesn't even get on Juice Plus? Are you willing to invest in them with all that you know and been gifted in the area of health because of being part of this company? Who are you going to invest in this week? Who can you encourage? Go ahead and start now, right in your hot hands list. Who can you encourage? Names have to be popping. They're popping in my mind. They got to be popping in your mind. Who can you encourage today? Who needs to know you care about them? How about that word educate? What's required of you that you can pour into someone and help them grow? Whether they're a prospect growing on their health journey, a customer growing into possibly becoming a partner growing into a qualifier. Do you even know where the people on your team are? How far away are they from qualifying? What's required of them? Can I run that number and say, you only need 5 more people and you'll be qualified? You know what that would do to someone? Would that not fire you up if someone, your upline called you and said, here's how much more you need? You just need a little bit of, people may just need a little bit of educating or support. What do they need from you? What customer or what prospect out there, surely our customers aren't sick, but what prospect out there maybe just could need something from you that would just push them over the edge? You know what it was talking to my friend Bobby Shoemaker. He called me to ask me what kind of Vitamix I had so that he could start making smoothies. That was kind of what pushed him over. And I'm like, Bobby, I got a Vitamix and I love it. It's the best, I think. But think about how much simpler it'd be if you just took Juice Plus. That was the conversation. What's it going to take? You know, and he started laughing at me. But support. Who could you support this week that will inch them one step further in this process? Train. Think about the people on your team. What processes or systems do they need that you could give them to help them be successful? Do they have a follow-up process? Do they have some system to track their prospects? Who needs a little bit of training from you today to take them up to that next level? And then lastly, develop. Who do you need to develop? Who on your team needs to know, here's your next step. Here's what you need to do. Not, let's go, let's move. But you're real specific. You know, to develop, you need to be specific. Take this step, that step, this step, that step. Maybe you're the one that's saying, hey, I feel like I need development. Then reach out to your upline, whoever that is. And if you're not getting a response, go up one higher and one higher. There is always someone there that will help you. And that's the beautiful thing about being part of a network marketing company like we are. is there's always someone there who is willing to lock arms with you and help you be successful. And let's do our part and pay it forward with the people who maybe we've brought on. It's our responsibility to nurture them. We are nurturers by definition in this business. All right, I'm gonna shut up. I hope I didn't go over too far because I wanna turn it over to Linda and let her give us some really good tangible ideas around this whole word of nurture, how to be a nurturing person. Linda, take it away.
Okay, stop sharing your screen.
Sorry.
Okay, so that was great, Elaine. A good cap of everything that we've done. It was a great reminder. So we have attracted customers. We have turned customers into partners. And now we're turning partners into leaders. And that's mostly what I'm going to focus on today. But in your qualifiers, we all know what it takes to be a qualifier. We always throw 24 trios or any combination to equal 1,800 PVCs. And then the clue is keeping these customers, and that depends mostly on our good customer care. And we've had several good calls on that. And if you haven't listened to them, I would advise you to go back and listen to them to get great ideas on our customer care. And then we want to turn our qualifiers into leaders. And what does it take to be a good leader? It takes commitment. You are dedicated to serve people for their best interest. In this network business, leaders they're not bosses. They are one of you, just guiding you to be the best you want to be. A good leader can only lead those that want to be led. And I love this quote, the teacher will come when the student appears. That's one of my favorites, and I think it's so true. You can't teach someone that doesn't want to be taught. A good leader never stops learning and listening to other good leaders. If you say, I'm not a good leader, or I can't be a good leader, stop it. Stop it right now. We all have to start somewhere. And when you get that first team member, you are a leader. You are a leader. We learn as we go, and we learn from our mistakes. A good leader shares their mistakes to show others that they are not perfect, and to help others that may not, so they may not make the same mistakes. So how does a leader nourish their team? Well, you find out where that team member wants to go. Usually you start out with short-term goals. For an example, share what getting from partner to partner plus looks like, and then all the levels that they are trying to progress to. Some people only want to know from A to B, like me. I did that to Elaine. Just tell me A to B. And she did. But we all have had team members that want to see what it looks like to go all the way. And they can take it. So you have to be a quick study. Remember that when you first were meeting people? Be a quick study of how that team member needs information and how much information they need. Some are auditory, some are visual, and some want to take all that information up front and sort it out themselves. But others, they would get overwhelmed. So you have to know how to nurture your team member. One of the most important parts of that nurturing is stay connected. Stay connected with your partners. You want to know how they feel, and if the no's that week have deflated them, you want to know that. We want to be there to help pick them up. And you want to be there to celebrate all their wins. A new customer, that's a win. That's a win. Okay, another part is encourage. Encourage your team members. You got this, Mary Jo. You can do this. You are so close to your goal. Yay, I know you're going to make it. How can I help? And then give them examples of what orders they might need to reach that goal. Listen, you love Tower Gardens. If you could sell 2 more Tower Gardens, you would be there. Or if you could sell 1 and your new partner could sell 1, you've got it. Yay! Or you only need 4 quads. I know you're good at selling quads. You need 4 more. Or you could divide that, you 2 and your new partner 2. Or you need 3 trios. Break it down to simplify into a doable reality for them. The next one is paint their next goal. Visualize what that would look like. What if it would mean for that team member? Remind them of why they wanted this business in the first place. This goal is the first step. Remind them of that. Help them dream. Some people have never allowed themselves to dream. It was maybe just paycheck to paycheck. That's all they could imagine. They had always been just status quo. Nobody ever told them to be anything else. They only thought of themselves as a mom or just a good bridge player. They were never allowed to dream outside their world. People need to dream and visualize what they want before they can find the map to get there. And that as a leader, we need to help our team dream. Show them what they can do and then guide them to do it. Coach, that brings us right into coaching. And you coach them, and then you teach them to coach their team. So they will watch you coach, they will take part, and then they will do a coaching call or Zoom. 3-way calls or 3-way Zooms, team members need to see how you coach, what you ask, how you respond to different circumstances. That is a teaching mode. An example is, okay, you have a 3-way with your partner and their potential team member. Now this, I'm sure there are so many out there. You talk to all kind of leaders and they have their own thing. I'm just going to share with you what I do. And you might take parts of it, some of it, none of it, but this is just an example of what you can do. Say you have a partner and they say, oh, Linda, I've got this potential team member and I know she's going to be good. Can you jump on a Zoom? And then you look at your schedule, they look at theirs, you plan the Zoom. But before the call or before the Zoom, this is so important. I will not get on a call or a Zoom with anybody that doesn't give me a profile on that person. I want to know their age. Are they single? Are they married? Do they have children? And the ages, if you know that. Do they work? Are they in the workforce? Or are they stay at home? Are they happy with their work? Or have they shared that? Do they have any health issues that you know about? Their personality. Because remember, when we first started, we wanted to be like a chameleon. We wanted to talk to people in the way that would reach them best. Loud, soft, you have to know that. What they have shared with you, anything else that they have shared with you. And the last but not least, are they on Juice Plus? If they are, how long? And if they're not, that's okay. Okay? Now let me just explain why I think this profile is why it helps me to be a better leader in talking with their potential. why I want this profile. This information will direct me as how to talk to this person to hit on relative points. You wouldn't talk to a 60-year-old woman the way you would talk to a young mom. You wouldn't talk to a businessman the way you would talk to a college student. You want to help your team member bring on that partner on that call or that Zoom, knowing as much as you can will make for a smoother flow of conversation. Now, here's kind of the way the flow of Zoom goes when I am the leader on the call. Your partner introduces you, the partner would introduce me, brief summary. For instance, this is my friend, Linda. She's a nurse, or this is my friend who's been in Juice Plus business for blah, blah, blah. Okay? And then I give a very short summary of how Juice Plus has helped me. Very short. Remember, it's all about them, not us. Very short. Hit on the high points that would relate to what you know on your profile. You want to create value in our products. And then brief, very brief summary of why I joined the business with any similarities to that prospect. You're not going to go into a lot of things that their eyes would get glazed over. Similar things that you could relate to the prospect. Example, when I joined this business, I was working full time. See, if somebody is working full time, you want them to know, I know how you feel. I was working full time and only wanted to get the products at a better price. You've heard that's what that lady has told her teammate. Or I had 3 kids at home when I joined this business. That would be a mom with kids. Or I was not a businesswoman at all, not at all. But I had very good teachers in this business, and that I am constantly learning. I found a community of people that were fun, encouraging, and are some of my dearest friends now. It was the best decision I've ever made. Show your passion in that very short, show your passion. Then I turn to them, and sometimes I'll say, tell me a little bit about you if that person hasn't given me a really big profile. Or I'll pick out 1 or 2 things and ask them, but I want the time to be short to let them know that when we get on these, we're not going to go on and on. We're going to respect their time. And I always ask at the beginning, how much time do you have? So I know what I can cut out, hit the bullet points. Then I say, Julie, tell me a little bit about yourself and why you started taking Juice Plus, if they had already started taking Juice Plus. And then, or if not, then why you want to take Juice Plus and what are you expecting by taking Juice Plus. Okay, then you turn it over to that prospect and she tells you her story, right? She just tells you her story. And then the second one, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you shared that with me. The second one is, now, Julie, tell me why you are interested in joining our team, or why you're interested in joining this Juice Plus business. And then they will go into why ever that's you want to know. And with those 2 questions, you say, that is your story. Simple and from your heart. You didn't have to have notes. You told us with passion. We feel what you feel. That is your story. Wow, that was powerful. And that is just what people want to hear from you. Why you take Juice Plus, why you joined this business. It sounds like that this business is a great fit for you. Are you ready to get started? If they say yes, then I say to my partner, Julie, why don't you take it from here and get all the information to help Mrs. Jones come aboard. And then we don't get off that call, we do it right then. You just want to say, Mrs. Jones, you have made a good choice and you're going to love working with Julie. You've got to give that person credit. She got to feel good about signing up with Julie. She is so knowledgeable and will be by your side guiding you wherever you want to go. Our whole team is eager to help in any way you may need. You always want to give your teammate praise and assure that person that they are in great hands. And again, assure them they've made the right choice. Give them attaboy. Yes, you've made the right choice. And the urgency I talked about is right then. Do not ever wait. Do not. You do it right then. And remember, you would start out getting the credit card first, and then we probably already have a lot of information, but you start getting that credit card first. That releases them. They know they're going to do it then. They have given you their credit card. We don't want procrastination to set in, which it so easily could. So many people, if they had gotten off the phone and not signed up, they would think of a million reasons why they shouldn't. Remember, everyone needs to be appreciated and needs to know that they have value. Show your team member that you care. A little note or card goes a long way. And here's a few quotes. A great leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. John Maxwell. Here's another one. Before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. Jack Welch. And the last one, I want to inspire people. I want someone to look at me and say, because of you, I didn't give up. I never quit. Be the kind of leader that you would follow. Okay, Elaine.
Wow. Thank you, Linda. I loved those quotes. I love hearing quotes. I think they're inspiring, that's for sure. And John Maxwell is one of my favorites. So thank you for sharing all that, Linda. Okay, let's take 5 minutes and let's get some planning done. If you haven't already planned, let's take a few minutes. I've got our planning guide here. I'm going to throw it up, and that didn't sound right now, did it? We'll put it up on the screen. That sounds better. Okay, so get your papers, pencils out, and let's plan out our week, guys. Without a plan, we probably won't get half as much done. But if we have a plan mapped out, if you've got 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, then you can quickly think of somebody, you've got your list, and you can just go down your list and make connections much quicker. So first and foremost, who am I going to share my story and or invite to watch a video? Who needs to hear about the Juice Plus product? Whose names are coming to mind? Where are you going? Take a look at your calendar. That's where I always start. And then look at last week's Hot Hands list. Who was on last week's Hot Hands list? What do you need? What's the next step you need to take with some of those people? Maybe there were some people who you need to put back on your memory jogger list. Pull them off your Hot Hands list. They're not ready yet. We're not on a race. I'd rather get a customer for life than just a one-time customer because I pushed them too soon. Who do you need to follow up this week that you talked to last week? What do they need? Do they need a video? How about an invitation? We have tons, I haven't posted, but we have tons of events this week. What about customers? Who needs to know? Who needs a little bit of nurturing? What do they need from you? What if you just called them to let them know you're thinking about them? Don't even need to talk about Juice Plus per se. They just need to know you care. How about who's somebody you can invite into the business? When you're creating that hot hands list of 10 or 15 people, make sure you got 2 or 3 people you're going to talk to about the business this week. And what are you going to share with them? What's your invitation? To coffee? For a walk? Go to yoga? How can you connect with them? What are you going to say to them? And is it going to be in a way that's attracting them to you? You know, if I love what I do and I'm excited about what I do and I'm talking about what I do, that's probably going to put me in a better light when I go get ready to invite them to take a look at my business. But if I'm dragging around, yeah, I need to probably do some work today. No one's going to be excited. But if I'm excited about, let me tell you something I just learned. You know, I can't wait to go listen to that Lisa Pebble. I just posted on Team Extreme talking about our products. You know, oh my goodness, you probably might want to listen to this. This is good. I can't wait to hear, but I know she's good. I've heard her speak. You know, how are you showing up when you're making these connections? And then your partners. Who needs a little encouragement? Who needs some confidence? Who can you take your confidence and breathe into them this week so that they're confident they can do this business? Who needs to hear from you? And then lastly, I gave you that one that I'm going to listen to is that Lisa Pebble. But what events, Zoom events, are you going to listen to, or trainings that will develop you and nurture your soul and nurture your mind and nurture your skills? Let's lead by example. Let's become great, not just leaders. Everyone on here I know is a leader. If you've got customers, if you have partners, you're a leader. But let's take this week and really focus on becoming great leaders. Leaders that attract leaders or that develop leaders. But first, we have to develop ourselves. All right. Everybody have a list of 10 to 15 people?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ready to go? Everybody got their sleeves rolled up? One person, somebody share one thought, one idea that you're going to do this week when reaching out to the people on your hot hands list. Who's got a creative idea that they're willing to share with us? Oh, Erin, you're looking right at me.
Yeah, I don't know if this is really creative, but I have this gal that she's just going to be so great. You know, it's like one of those people that you meet and right away you're like, they're going to be on my Juice Plus team. I just know it. And so we've already like kind of done some walking and talking and stuff like that. But the last time when we left, I said, hey, I'd really like to talk to you about Juice Plus, and I'd really like to talk to you about being on my team. And she said, that sounds great. Let's just talk about that next time we meet. And it felt really good to just like set an agenda for the next time, so we know. And she knows like that's what we're talking about, and that's going to be, and I'm really excited about that, you know, so I don't have to like him and ha around, you know. She knows what I'm going for. And my heart was pure to her. Like, I love you and I want to be your friend, but I also want you to work with me.
And I think when you speak, like when you put the agenda out there, you're not skirting around and you know, people know. I love that idea. So the question I guess would be or the challenge is, who are you going to be intentional with this week? It was showing intentionality, and people like that. People know that you're shooting straight with them. As my husband would say, you're giving it to them with the bark on the tree. They know exactly what it's about, and then you're not afraid to go right in and have that really good conversation. I love that, Erin. All right, thank you for that idea. Who you're going to be intentional about inviting into the business this week. All right, you guys have an awesome week. Again, thank you, Linda, for your words of wisdom, and for each one of you guys for being on the call today. Have an incredible week, and we'll talk to you same time, same place.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome information.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks for nurturing us.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks
You guys
for
are easy.
feeding into us. You were
Yeah.
that person to us, Elaine.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you. Great call.